In 1974, we literally ironed our hair on the ironing board, with wax paper as the only thing between our split ends and third-degree burns, while the kitchen radio played The Night Chicago Died for the 800th time that week. Your mom would be smoking a Tareyton at the kitchen table, ashing into that amber glass ashtray everyone's parents had, yelling, "Don't burn the Formica," while you tried to get that Cher straight look before Charlie's Angels came on at 9. Today's kids, they have a mental breakdown if their $200 Dyson Airwrap doesn't have the right attachment. Meanwhile, we were out here mixing baby oil with iodine in a Coppertone bottle. Yeah, the recipe was 1 bottle of baby oil to 3 drops of iodine, and Linda's older sister swore by it, laying on the garage roof because it was closer to the sun up there. Stick around, because when you hear what we did with tinfoil and Sun-In during lunch period behind the gym, you'll understand why half our yearbook photos look like we survived a chemical spill. If you knew to check the Woolworth's clearance bin on Saturdays, because that's when they mark down the Yardley lipsticks with the Union Jack packaging, congratulations, you survived the trenches. We didn't have Ulta Beauty with its fluorescent lighting and testers for everything. We had Rexall Drugs, where Mr. Henderson worked the register and would loudly announce feminine products when calling for a price check on your Kotex, ensuring everyone in a 3-block radius knew you had your period. We're the generation that knew exactly which Avon lady on your street had the samples, Mrs. Kowalski on Maple Street, and she'd let you try the little lipstick samples if you promised your mom would host a party. If you remember racing home from school to catch that Noxzema commercial with the blonde who looked like she was having a religious experience while washing her face, then welcome to the club, sister. QT Quick Tanning Lotion and the Great Orange Knee Disaster of 76. You'd buy QT at Thrifty's for $2.49, right there on the end cap next to the Coppertone and the flip-flops that would last exactly 1 summer. The tube showed this golden goddess, but what you got was more escaped Oompa Loompa meets jaundice patient. But here's what only we remember. You had to shake it exactly 7 times, or it would come out separated. That clear liquid first, then a glob of orange paste that would splat on your bathroom rug, and your mom would lose her mind because that stuff never came out. You'd try to blend it with your hands, but forget washing it off. You'd go to school the next day, and Sister Mary Catherine would ask if you'd been finger painting. Remember the knees? Nobody talks about the knees. You'd forget to blend around your kneecaps, so you'd have these white circles surrounded by orange, looking like 2 headlights. And the feet. We'd stop at the ankle because we didn't want to waste it on feet nobody would see, so we'd have that harsh tan line right at the sock line. Beach volleyball in PE? Forget it. Everyone knew you were a QT girl. The worst part? When it rained, this stuff would streak down your legs like you were melting. I remember specifically the spring dance of 77. It drizzled, and half the girls looked like they were crying orange tears down their shins. The boys didn't know whether to offer us tissues or turpentine. Sun-In, the John Denver incident nobody talks about. Spray it in, and the sun brings it out. But here's what they didn't tell you, and every girl learned this the hard way. If you had dark hair and used Sun-In, you didn't get blonde. You got that specific orange that only existed between 1975 and 1979. That, I tried to go blonde but ended up looking like a traffic cone orange. You know what we actually did? We'd sneak the bottle to school in our Jordish bag, and during lunch we'd go behind the gym where the lunch lady smoked. We'd spray it in, then try to activate it by lying on those metal bleachers that would brand the back of your thighs with lines. 30 minutes, tops, before 5th period. But the real trick, and your older sister's best friend would tell you this, like she was passing down the secret to eternal life, was to use a blow dryer on high, with the bottle sitting right there so you could spray and dry, spray and dry. The bathroom would be 90 degrees, your mom would be banging on the door because the electricity bill was going to be astronomical, and you'd emerge looking like you'd stuck your finger in a socket with orange cotton candy on your head. Remember when Brad Morrison told Cindy her hair looked like John Denver's after a grease fire at the homecoming bonfire? She cried for 2 hours, but she still used Sun-In the next summer because we had the memory of goldfish when it came to beauty disasters. Seabreeze, the 10-10-2 rule, that bottle, you know the one. Not the redesigned one they have now, the original with the blue-green label that looked medicinal because it basically was. It sat on the back of every toilet tank in America, next to the Jean Naté and that crocheted doll that hid the extra toilet paper. Here's what only we know. The 10-10-2 rule? You'd soak a cotton ball, not a cotton pad, those were for rich people, a ball from the bag of 100 from Kmart, and do 10 swipes on your forehead, 10 on each cheek, and 2 on your chin. Why? Because 17 magazine said so in that article about beating breakouts before they begin, and 17 was basically the Bible. The burning wasn't just burning, it was stages. First the cold hit, then the burn. Then your eyes would water even if you didn't get it near your eyes. Then the tight feeling like your face was shrinking. And finally, that weird, numb, tingly sensation that meant it was working. If you used it after shaving your legs, which we all did because we were apparently masochists, you'd do that dance. You know the one. That hopping, leg-shaking, silent screaming dance while fanning your legs with a towel. My friend Janet would steal her brother's Old Spice aftershave when she ran out of Seabreeze. That's how addicted we were to that burn. If it doesn't hurt, it doesn't work. Wasn't just a saying, it was a religious belief. Love's Baby Soft. And why? Every school dance smelled like a nursery. That pink bottle with the white cap. $3.50 at Thrifty's. But you could get the gift set with the powder for $7 at Christmas. And every aunt gave you this gift set. Every single one. You'd have 4 bottles lined up on your dresser like you were running a Love's Baby Soft distributorship. But here's the specific thing nobody mentions. The way you applied it. You didn't just spray it. You had a ritual. You'd spray it in the air and walk through the mist, like they showed in that commercial with the girl in the white peasant blouse. Then you'd spray your pulse points, wrists behind the ears, and that spot between your collarbones that Cosmo said drove men wild. At school dances in the gym, you know, where they dim the lights and hang those twisted crepe paper streamers from the basketball hoops, the smell of Love's Baby Soft would mix with the smell of gym socks and fruit punch. It created this specific scent that if you smell it today, you're immediately transported back to slow dancing, to Stairway to Heaven, while trying not to step on David Thompson's Converse All-Stars. The thing was, we'd reapply every hour. We'd sneak to the bathroom in groups, and there'd be a cloud of Love's Baby Soft so thick you could taste it. Mrs. Franklin, the chaperone, would come in coughing and open the windows even in December. Gee, your hair smells terrific. The shower line phenomenon. That neon pink bottle that looked like it was designed by someone on acid, which, let's be honest, in 1974, they probably were. But here's what only we remember. The shower line. You know what I'm talking about. That pink residue that would build up on the shower wall where you kept the bottle. No amount of Comet could remove it. It was like the shampoo was marking its territory. 20 years later, when your parents sold the house, that pink line was still there, a permanent monument to 1970s hair care. The smell, God, the smell. It wasn't just strong, it was aggressive. It would seep into your pillowcase, and 3 washes later, your sheets still smelled like UHS. Your boyfriend's Letterman jacket would smell like it after one hug. Dogs would follow you home because they thought you were some kind of walking flower garden. But the real insider knowledge? You had to use exactly a quarter-sized amount. The commercials said dime-sized, but that was a lie and everyone knew it. Too little and your hair wouldn't smell terrific enough. Too much and you'd never rinse it out. You'd be in the shower for 45 minutes, your dad banging on the door because he needed to get ready for work, and you're in there with a head full of suds that won't quit. Remember when they came out with the matching cream rinse? And we'd use both, thinking we'd smell twice as terrific? We'd walk around leaving a vapor trail like Pepe Le Pew. If you're sitting there right now, remembering exactly which wire rack at Woolco had the dippity-doo, third aisle, bottom shelf, next to the Alberto Vive 05, then smash that subscribe button like you smashed your hair with that crimping iron you ordered from the back of Teen Beat magazine. You know, the one that came with the free mood ring that turns your finger green? Ring that notification bell like it's your princess phone, and Bobby just asked if you're going to Susie's party on Friday. Jean Naté, Afterbath Splash, the Christmas gift set epidemic. That yellow bottle. But not just any yellow bottle. The big one from the Christmas gift set that came in that yellow box with the clear plastic window so you could see all 3 products lined up like toxic soldiers. Every woman in America got at least one Jean Naté gift set between 1970 and 1979. It was like a law. But here's what we really did with it, and nobody admits this. We used it as perfume, deodorant, mouthwash, don't judge, desperate times after sneaking a Marlboro, and antiseptic. Cut your leg shaving? Jean Naté. Mosquito bite? Jean Naté. Need to remove nail polish but out of remover? Jean Naté might work. The application wasn't just a splash, it was a ceremony. You'd see it in the commercials. That woman literally throwing it on herself with abandon. So we'd stand in our avocado green bathrooms, on those matching fuzzy rugs that came in a 3-piece set from Sears, and hurl this stuff at our bodies. It would get everywhere. The mirror, the walls, that little crocheted toilet paper cover your grandma made. The bathroom would reek of Jean Naté and rubbing alcohol for days. You want to know how strong this stuff was? My friend Debbie spilled a whole bottle in her dad's Chevelle, 1978. That car still smelled like Jean Naté when he sold it in 1985. It had soaked into the very molecular structure of the velour seats. Number 4, Dippity-Doo, the pink jar protocol. Not the green one. That was for professionals and your mom's church hair. The pink jar, the one that looked like strawberry jello, had a baby with industrial adhesive. You'd buy it at Kmart for $1.79, and it would last 6 months because a little went a long way. But here's what we actually did, and this was universal. You'd apply it at night, sleep in those pink foam rollers, the ones that left marks on your face if you slept wrong, and wake up with hair that could survive a Category 5 hurricane. We'd sleep sitting up to preserve the curl pattern, sitting up. The real memory? The sound it made when you opened the jar. That specific thwack as the vacuum seal broke, and the way it would develop that crusty layer on top if you didn't use it for a week, and you'd have to dig through it with your finger like we were on an archaeological expedition. School picture day, you'd use extra Dippity-Doo. That's why everyone's hair in yearbook photos from 1973 to 1979 looks like it was carved from marble. We didn't have hair movement. We had hair architecture. You could measure the wind speed based on how much your hair didn't move. Hawaiian Tropic, the contest you forgot about. SPF2. But here's what nobody remembers. There was a competition. The Hawaiian Tropic Miss Tan Line contest at every public pool and beach. Girls would literally compete to see who had the most defined tan lines. The winner got a free bottle of Hawaiian Tropic and a visor. A visor? We'd create tan line art, hearts on our hips using Band-Aids, stars on our shoulders with stickers from the dentist, and the smell, that coconut smell that was so strong, bees would follow you thinking you were some kind of tropical flower. You'd open the bottle and half the beach would turn their heads like meerkats. But the real insider move? Mixing it with iodine, 3 drops of iodine from your mom's medicine cabinet into a bottle of Hawaiian Tropic. You'd shake it up and guard that bottle with your life because that was the secret to going from white to brown in one afternoon. Never mind that you were basically creating a chemical weapon against your own skin. Remember the bottles? The dark brown plastic that was impossible to see through, so you never knew how much was left. You'd be squeezing air, slapping the bottom of the bottle, doing everything short of cutting it open with scissors to get that last drop out because you were not going back to the store looking pale. Aquanet, the bathroom fog of 77. The purple can was for every day. The pink was for dates. The gold was for prom, weddings, and Easter Sunday. This was the hierarchy, and everyone knew it. You didn't just buy Aquanet, you collected it like some people collected records. But here's what really happened. The bathroom fog. You'd spray so much that you literally couldn't see the mirror. Your little brother would walk in and immediately start choking. The towels would be sticky. The toilet seat would be sticky. The cat would be sticky if it wandered in at the wrong time. Remember the warning on the back? Do not smoke until product has fully dried. Until it dried. Like we were going to wait. Sharon Mulligan's older sister caught her bangs on fire with a Virginia Slim at homecoming because her Aquanet wasn't dry. We still didn't stop using it. The real test of your Aquanet application? The touch test. Your hair should feel like fiberglass insulation. If someone could run their fingers through it, you failed. Your hair should make a crunching sound when pressed. That's when you knew you'd achieved peak hold. Bon Bell lip smackers, the underground trading economy. Dr. Pepper was the gold standard. Not strawberry, not watermelon, Dr. Pepper. If you had a Dr. Pepper lip smacker, you were royalty. You could trade it for 3 Bubble Yum, 2 issues of Tiger Beat, or 1 pair of friendship pins for your Nikes. But here's what we really did. We'd go to Spencer's Gifts in the mall because they had the jumbo lip smackers. Not the regular ones from Woolworths, the jumbo ones that were the size of a roll of quarters. You'd wear it on a rope around your neck like you'd won an Olympic medal for having the softest lips in 7th grade. The application technique was specific. You didn't just swipe. You did 3 full circles, then rubbed your lips together, then 1 more circle for good measure. This happened every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes. Teachers would confiscate them because the sound of 20 girls applying lip smacker during a math test sounded like a swarm of locusts. And if someone asked to borrow your lip smacker, that was basically a marriage proposal. You didn't share lip smackers with just anyone. That was reserved for your best friend, and even then, you would watch them apply it to make sure they didn't use too much. So here we are, the generation that knew exactly which checkout line at Thrifty's to avoid. Register 3, where Mrs. Patterson would comment on every single thing you bought. We knew that Walgreens put out new stock on Tuesday mornings, and if you weren't there by 10 a.m., all the good nail polish colors would be gone. We survived beauty routines that would make today's kids call poison control. That burn from Nair that was left on 2 minutes too long because Love Boat was on and you forgot? Battle scar. That time, everyone at Kelly's slumber party tried to frost their hair with an actual frosting cap and ended up looking like Swiss cheese? Character building. We didn't have Sephora samples. We had that one friend whose mom sold Avon, and we'd crowd around those tiny lipstick samples like they were rare gems. We didn't have YouTube tutorials. We had that diagram on the back of the Maybelline eyeshadow showing you how to do evening eyes, and we followed it like it was the Constitution. Remember saving up babysitting money? $1.50 an hour if you were lucky? To buy that Aziza eyeshadow compact with 4 colors that you'd use until you hit pan? Then you'd dig out the remaining bits with a safety pin because you were not wasting a single speck of that $3.99 investment? Today's generation will never know the specific panic of hearing your mom's car in the driveway while you're trying to clean that pink dippity-doo stain off the bathroom counter with Comet. They'll never understand the betrayal of finding out your sister used your last cotton ball for Seabreeze, and now you have to use toilet paper, which sticks to your face. If this trip down memory lane has you wanting to check your medicine cabinet for that bottle of Jean Naté you know is still in there behind the calamine lotion from 1983, then hit that subscribe button harder than you hit the button on that can of Aquanet. We didn't just live through the 70s, we survived them. One chemical burn at a time, and our bathroom cabinets still smell like the evidence.